Welcome back to the Gunpla Network. I'm Murdoch, and it's about time I get to reviewing the OG Master Grade Guncannon. Before we begin though, I owe a big thanks to our sponsor, Canadian Gundam, for this kit. Looking for that next kit or tool to complete your collection? Canadian Gundam's got you covered. With a vast selection of Gunpla, plamo kits, paints, and tools, you're sure to find what you're looking for. And then you have their flat rate shipping across North America and private warehouse options. But wait, there's more. Take advantage of their discount code Gunpla Network for 10% off your entire order at checkout. Okay, so if the RX-78-2 is Grandpa, then the RX-77-2 Guncannon must be Great Uncle. The Guncannon was designed to be a mid-range support mobile suit, made to work with the Gundam and gun tank simultaneously as part of Operation V. With that in mind, it also uses the core block system, and had enough generator output to handle a beam rifle. Other fun facts about the Guncannon is its armor is so thick it could eat a round from a Rick Dom's giant bazooka and keep going. The main reason its head is differently configured from Grandpa's is because of the extra hardware required for artillery combat. Alright, so let's talk articulation. Despite the MG Guncannon having at least a partial endoskeleton in its lower body, and coming with master grade extras like minis of the pilots and what have you, master grades from this era, that is the early 2000s for those of you keeping track, are about as complicated and articulated as high grades from the early 20-teens. This ridiculous pose I have the Guncannon in, trying to imitate Neo in bullet time, is a good litmus test for just how far you can take everything. The skirts and ball joints on the hips prevent the legs from spreading much further than about 30 degrees, so no hope for this guy doing the splits. There's some limited rotation in the ankles, and the feet are a solid piece, so you can get some posing, but not a great deal. The torso can only twist a little bit in either direction for similar reasons as the legs, and is thus limited. The skirting gets in the way, and you can work around this a little bit by loosening it from the core block anchor, but that can cause other problems down the road if you're trying to do some crazy dynamic posing with him. The hands on this guy, well, you get two. The old 3-in-1 setup, so there's 3 extra fingers, your trigger finger and your thumb, and so they can, grab stuff, which in this case, to my surprise, because of the Guncannon's mitts being bigger than, say, the Gundam's, it actually can. He's holding the beam rifle without any help from sticky tack or super glue or anything of the kind, and capable of also holding grenades that hide in his bootstraps. More on those later. The other set of hands is open palms with broken wrists, so you can do the classic prone artillery pose if you want, or just have him hold the rifle with both hands. One last thing. The base of his neck is also on a pivot of sorts, so he can look up higher in prone. As far as extras go, I've listed a few of them off already, but I'll go over the list properly here. Master Grade Guncannon comes with your choice of the classic core fighter and gray core block if you wanted to pose the core fighter elsewhere, 2 sets of hands, 2 grenades to be stashed in the lower leg compartments, the beam rifle, a standing pilot mini, and your choice of either the artillery cannons or spray missile launchers. Not a whole lot, but this kit is coming with literally everything it has the option to carry. The build experience for this kit was pretty straightforward. As I mentioned earlier, it was like putting together a bigger high grade from, recent years with its complexity. The only thing that tested my patience, as it did with Grandpa Verka many years ago, was the core fighter assembly. That thing did not want to cooperate. Otherwise, it's not that difficult a kit to put together by any means. It has only a few surface details, so You can totally make use of all those decals. I don't trust myself to apply them well, even though I've been doing this a while. So how does this old guy stack up to its brother and his newer versions? Well, like I implied in the unboxing video, the Guncannon here uses the same core block setup as Gundam Verka, which, as you may have noticed, mine looks a little different. I've worked my Verka into a white death sniping machine, but that's neither here nor there. He's not quite finished yet. Okay, so what about the Origin version? Well, Grandpa's proportions are slightly different, but nothing looks out of place here either. Gramps is still a bit taller, but Origin Gramps also doesn't come with the core fighter. He's got all sorts of other gimmicks going on. So what about the most recent iteration, the 3.0? Well, I'm glad you asked. Grandpa 3.0 seems to be a bit taller than the others in comparison to Guncannon, and let's compare core fighters while we're at it, shall we? They updated the dimensions a bit and added some extra gimmick parts for 3.0 compared to the classic. And due to their locking mechanisms being different, they're most certainly not interchangeable. Now, what's the shelf presence like? Well, unless you have a lot of other red kits near it, I don't think you'll have to worry about it standing out. Guncannon carries his own weight pretty well and looks even better when you put him in a Mobile Suit team. Like this one. Seen here with the Master Grade Guncannon are the Master Grade Gym Command Colony type and the Gym Sniper 2. Now, I didn't plan for it, but this would also be a well-balanced team in the universe as well. So, in conclusion, these days this Master Grade is a good starter kit if you want to get into the 1/100th scale. It's not a ridiculous amount of parts to assemble, and you can get through it in about a day or two. The other nice thing is if you're into engraving your own panel lines, this kit is practically a blank canvas on significant portions. Of course, if you're after the one-year War Dream team, the Guncannon is a must-have, even if he's getting on in years. Who knows, maybe we'll see a 2.0 in 2024. Until next time, I'm Murdoch, and on behalf of the Gunpla Network, keep building.